everyone, I'm Nicole Moss, and welcome to this edition of the Moss HR Minute. I am the co-founder and director of HR for Moss Consulting HR Services, where we provide enterprise-level HR services to small and mid-sized businesses. We help business owners solve modern-day challenges with modern-day HR support, from recruiting and onboarding to compliance, strategy, and leadership development. Today, I am joined by Ryan Leddy, who is the head of partnerships at Hoopless Marketing. Ryan leads client strategy and partnerships for a fractional digital marketing firm that works primarily with healthcare, law firms, home services business, and other competitive local industries. Ryan and his team are on a mission to eliminate what they call jumping through hoops in the agency world. No fluff, no vanity metrics, no long-term contracts, just ROI-driven marketing that actually impacts the bottom line. So Ryan, here's how our show works. Business owners and leaders are very busy, as you know, and advice is often long, vague, and theoretical. So what we do is we ask 5 hard-hitting questions that business owners are actually needing answer to quickly. You get 1 Moss minute to answer the question. 1 Moss minute. And after that, we can pause and kind of clock or dig into anything that seems really important. We can dig in deeper. Are you ready for your first question?
I'm ready.
Okay, 1 Moss minute. Question number 1. A lot of business owners spend money on marketing but can't clearly tie it back to revenue. In 1 Moss minute, how should a business owner evaluate whether their marketing is truly driving ROI versus just producing activity?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, your agency should be chomping at the bit to tell you those numbers if it's going well.
Okay.
Like, we love proving ROI to our customers. It's one of the main things that we would report. And when you talk about no fluff, no vanity metrics, we make a point of having our reporting be as transparent as it can possibly be. So we hold ourselves to the standard of how many times did your phone ring this month compared to last month, right? These are tangible outcomes for local businesses that they can tie directly to revenue. The other tricky part is, of course, the attribution part of it. So how do we do multi-channel attribution and get to the point where we can really figure out exactly where each of these inputs is driving value? So that's what we like trying to hold ourselves to.
Perfect. I love it. How might you explain the difference between like vanity metrics versus bankable metrics to a skeptical founder or prospect for you guys?
Yeah, it's really easy to report about impressions, right? How many people saw a link to your website. It doesn't tell you anything about how someone actually interacted with it or whether that actually converts to a customer. So you see sort of agency reporting where it's really, really easy to inflate these numbers, to just give someone a graph that goes upwards and to the right. There are lots of ways to do that. But it's pretty hard to inflate the number of times that your phone rang in a certain month, right?
Right.
So these are metrics that are a lot simpler, a lot more straightforward. You know, it's funny, we talk about ROI. There's a great post by our founder, Sam Knight, the other day about sort of what a prospect's ROI expectations are for SEO. We walked him through a process of like, here's your budget. How many customers would you want per month as a result of that budget? And they were saying, well, yeah, like multiple $10,000 a month customers. And so the expectation baseline of success is a 5,000+% ROI, right? Like, where else are you ever going to get that?
Right.
The fun part is that actually is kind of realistic. It's possible. There is like that much low-hanging fruit in organic search for relatively low cost as compared to anything paid. So it is possible, but it's always a process of sort of shifting people's expectations around what realistic ROI is too.
Yeah, excellent. So really quick though, I feel very proud when some of my LinkedIn posts get like thousands of impressions, but you're telling me that means nothing.
On a LinkedIn post, it absolutely means something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's
good.
the name of the game.
Yes. Okay. Heck
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always like, oh, impressions are great, but it's really, it's like 1,000 impressions and like 2 comments.
Well, like, especially with, and we'll touch on AI later, especially with the advent of AI overviews, impressions are higher than they've ever been. So if you get linked on one of these AI overviews, your impressions go through the roof. We've had some instances with customers where the most valuable keyword they could possibly be cited in an AI overview, they are now #1 nationally for that.
Awesome.
Their impressions on that keyword go through the absolute roof, and their clicks don't change at all, because these are 0-click searches, which is a huge problem in marketing these days. They call it the alligator, right? Where impressions are going up and clicks are staying down, if not lower. And so we're still trying to determine kind of the value of that overall, whether AI search is actually helpful in any meaningful way. So for LinkedIn posts, impressions are awesome.
Yes.
If
knew
you're
it.
a local business trying to get people to call you for your services, less so.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair. Excellent. Thank you. Question number 2. You're doing great. You describe Hoopless as a fractional digital marketing department instead of a traditional agency. In 1 Moss Minute, what's the real difference between hiring a marketing vendor and embedding a fractional team into the business?
This is something that has really impressed me with you guys too in your philosophy.
Thank
and
you.
The way you approach the fractional HR space. Because it really is a true partnership rather than just being a vendor, right? Like it's not about a list of deliverables that you just run through every month. Our founder, again, likes to think of it almost as a fiduciary responsibility in the way that a financial advisor would have. Like our responsibility is to their bottom line, whether or not that includes our specific services. So again, with the kind of Hoopless ethos, right? That's why we're always on these flat month-to-month contracts. We'll be the first people to tell you if this isn't working. We'll shift your spend somewhere else. We'll recommend something else. We'll recommend someone else. But that, I think, is when we're truly embedded, when we understand their business strategy, it's not just about making sure that our services get done. It's about actually looking out for them and becoming a part of their team.
Yeah, I love that. My business partner, husband, and co-founder, Steve, talks about the kind of fiduciary responsibility that we have to our clients and the partnership that we have. And I think that level of thinking is what makes us good partners, because it's so important. You are part of the team, even though it's fractional. It's just so important to state that, I think. So we're really aligned there. What tells you that a business owner is ready for that level of partnership versus just outsourcing tasks?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been burned by bad vendors in the past.
Yeah.
And I think that they realized that just turning through a list of tasks has not worked in the past and that they need a true team member. It also, like we were talking about earlier, sort of the inflection point at which a business needs these services, whether it's outsourced or fractional HR or fractional marketing, where there's some sort of point in their growth trajectory where they can't yet afford a full-time C-level marketing hire, but they know that they need that in order to grow. And so a vendor is not going to cut it, but a full-time hire is out of the question. And so that's when you bring on someone to truly partner with you, but as an outside
Fractional.
strategist.
Yeah, that's great. You're doing great. Number 3.
Thanks.
In 1 Moss Minute,
1 Moss Minute.
you focus heavily on local SEO and dominating the map pack.
Yeah.
You'll have to explain to me what map pack is
Sure.
in 1 Moss Minute. But why does map visibility matter more than most business owners may realize?
So when you do a Google search for fractional HR Denver, if you append that Denver suffix to it, right, if it's a local search, Google recognizes that as a local search. It's an entirely different search experience than searching for Abraham Lincoln, which is going to be an informational search only.
Okay.
So if it recognizes that you have local intent, then it's going to give you a map pack in the response, which is basically, and you'll recognize this immediately next time you do a Google search, it shows Google Maps and it shows 3 businesses on the front page. You can then click through and see the full map and the rest of the businesses. Those 3 businesses get 75% of the clicks on that page. So map pack visibility is key for local businesses. Being in the, not just listed on Google Maps, but in that specific top 3 for that keyword is crucial. Everything else falls by the wayside. Even in some instances, paid ads fall by the wayside.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's critical.
Awesome. What do you think one of the biggest mistakes that local businesses might make when they're trying to improve their search ratings?
There are many.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there are some kind of outdated tactics that people try to use. Over-indexing on blogs stuffed with keywords is working less and less. Focusing on local visibility over informational queries is key. So you really want your content to be showing that you are genuinely an expert and a part of that local community. You want to be seen across a bunch of different platforms being genuinely helpful to people. The LLMs really reward this as well. And seen as kind of just like a genuine expert. So rather than sort of the old school like keyword stuffing blogs, that is working less and less and less and getting these 0-click searches at best. So it's all about map pack visibility.
Okay, awesome. Question number 4. Search is changing quickly. AI tools are reshaping how customers discover businesses. In 1 Moss Minute, how should business owners be thinking about AI optimization and future-proofing their visibility?
Yeah. So the thing to keep in mind here is that despite all of the hype around AI search, it's still only 10% of total search volume. Standard Google and Bing search is still 90% of the searching people are doing.
Okay.
Leads that you get through the chatbots, through the LLMs, convert at a higher rate, so they're better click-throughs, but it's still a small percentage. It's growing. And so that's why there's this enormous focus in the SEO world right now. Everybody is yet again declaring, SEO is dead, long live SEO, right? It's died 1,000 deaths over the years. But this particular iteration of it, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind, but a lot of what we're seeing is that the core fundamentals that have always worked for SEO, what got you ranked 5 years ago, still works decently well in AI visibility. The LLMs, like I said, sort of over reward citations. So evidence that you are not just on your own website, but across the internet, well recognized. Reddit is ascendant in this sense. It loves Reddit. I've tested this for a few of our customers where I'll just make a comment like, hey, these guys did a great job on my friend's roof. And a week later, it is the top results in ChatGPT if you search for that.
Whoa.
It enormously over-indexes on Reddit. So that's become its own entire strategy. So citations are big, and proof and FAQs. There are a couple ways to structure content that are basically like question and answer. So like people asking really specific questions. Where can I find a fractional HR leader in Denver for X amount of money? Something like that, right? Like a full query that someone would drop into an LLM rather than just like a keyword in a search. Adding those into your content, natural questions, Q&As, that seems to be great for LLMs.
Okay.
But the amount of hype around it, I think, is hilarious because it's still comparatively not that big a deal. And the same, and if you look at on the back end, the chatbots are still pulling from Google. That's proven, right? ChatGPT uses Google and Bing as its back end for a lot of this stuff. So anyone, like I said this earlier, I think anyone trying to sell you a separate AEO or GEO package that doesn't include all of the rest of the SEO fundamentals, like do not give them your money.
Okay.
This is hype, right? They're trying to sell the same retainer for just one very narrow section of the search picture. That was well over a minute.
That's okay. That's allowed. Nothing really bad happens if you go over a minute. It's okay. Yeah, no one gets slapped on this show. It's okay. Not yet, anyway. We'll see what happens next. But
always pivot to new content.
That's good. That would be exciting. People might watch it.
Definitely exciting.
Yeah. Okay. Final question. You've said many agencies operate like vendors instead of partners. In one Moss minute or close, what does a true marketing partnership look like? And what does it look like from a business owner's perspective? And why is that different?
Yeah, I think we touched on this a little bit when we were talking about the sort of the fractional model that you guys have, where it is like you have a broader responsibility to the business than just marketing.
Yeah.
And it is why we keep our contracts so flexible and why we will recommend that people pivot to other modes of marketing or other ways of spending their money, because when we are truly embedded as a partner, we can see further across their business and help them make real strategic decisions that just a vendor plugged in kind of a narrow scope couldn't.
Yeah.
So that's made a huge difference in the way we interact with our customers.
Perfect. And under one Moss minute. Loved it. How can let's just talk quickly, how could a founder tell early on if they've hired an agency that is maybe stating that they're going to be a partner and kind of talking about what we've talked about on this fractional partner track? How can you tell it's going to be a good partner or become a good trusted partner?
Yeah, I think it's curiosity. I think they should probably understand that in the discovery phase, right? Mm-hmm. Like not just understanding what success in a marketing phase looks like, but understanding what success in the broader business looks like, what their general plans are across hiring, across different product lines, different expansions, things like that, so that you can make more holistic recommendations for them than just something narrow. So it's something that we really try to emphasize in getting to know our customers in the discovery phase, getting to truly understand their voice and their goals as we're onboarding them. I'm curious, actually, how do you guys think about that?
I think that a lot of the times with us, when we're partnering with a prospect or a current or another, soon to be client, there's a lot that's talked about very topically in the very beginning, we can say what we do, but what tends to happen is after we are in contract with people, that's when we kind of find all the skeletons, or they feel more comfortable telling us.
Yes.
And I think that from an HR perspective, I think really any like fractional space is you have to be able to accept the flaws, because that's what we're here for. That's what consultants are for, in a way that is comfortable for them to tell us. We need them to tell us the things. It's like, help me help you. I need to know. And so when they kind of expose the skeletons, so to speak, or kind of give us more depth, I think being a really good partner and having them feel like they've made a really good decision is that we take it in stride. We don't want to embarrass anyone. We want people to feel really supported, and that what we've learned as a company as we've grown is being the answer. I think that a lot of the times vendors are going to say, well, what do you need? Or how can I help you? What we're coming in as fractional partners is saying, here's what you need. Here's how we're going to help you. Of course, we'll always, the business owner always has the right to veto what we're going to do. But I think that partnering is leading and driving. And I think that being a vendor is asking and following. So that's where I think the difference is.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you. Ryan, thank you very much for playing the Moss HR Minute.
Absolutely.
You did good. You went over on one, but I think for the rest, you were right in there.
All right, no slap.
Yeah, no slap this time. You've given business owners a practical way to think about ROI, local visibility, and how to navigate marketing without getting lost in the metrics that really don't matter, the fluff, so to speak. At Moss HR Consulting Services, we also believe business owners deserve strategic partners, not vendors, like we talked about. So when it comes to their people and their growth, we provide enterprise-level HR support to small, medium-sized businesses across the country, helping leaders build stronger teams and make smarter decisions. If you're a business owner needing help navigating hiring, leadership, compliance, or scaling your team the right way, visit mossconsulting.com. And if you want to get in touch with Ryan, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Shoot me an email, ryan@hoopless.com, or head to hoopless.com.
Awesome. And thank you for joining us for this edition of the Moss HR Minute.
Thanks for having me.
Nailed it.